So a good chunk of the Goodwills I go to now have learned that putting in really expensive video game stuff behind the auction case is now the norm, and it's all luck based right now, going out and finding these games. Literally, it's just the luck of the draw whether or not they decide to put something out on the shelves or behind that auction case. And it's getting really, really hard to find these games as of late. So without further ado, let's get into what I did pick up from the video. There's a lot of stuff you may have seen in the video, but I did not pick it up. Here's what I did. So first up, I had to ask at the store, because I looked it up online. I couldn't find it on eBay. No one was selling this item. I wound up finding this Daito family stick. I didn't know what it was. I asked a bunch of my friends on Facebook, and they immediately knew when they saw this what it was. They sent me some information, and it turns out that this Daito family stick is for the PC Engine. And I was like, no shit. And they sent me a link to what it was, and sure as hell, those connectors there match up with a PC Engine controller port. So I was like, holy shit, this is for, if you don't know, those that don't know, the PC Engine is the TurboGrafx 16 here in America and the PC Engine over in Japan. And I was really, really lucky enough to have found this. This thing is so awesome. It has some type of volume control for turbo speed, or they're not volume control, but it's a knob to control the speed, and just a simple A and B button layout, just like the controller. But I guess this is just some type of like the NES Advantage for the PC Engine. So for $2, couldn't leave that, man. So right after finding that PC Engine family stick, I looked inside of a bin that literally just had this in it. It was a garbage can on the shelf, and when I looked in the garbage can, that's why you gotta look at everything, Tearaway for the PS Vita was sitting in there. And oh my god, when I opened the case and saw this little thing in here, the little chip in there, the little game, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. How in the world has this not been stolen? This is like little kid candy. Little kids roam around looking for these type of cases, just taking the games. And usually when I open these games cases, they're always empty. But I got to this game before their little grubby little hands, and I only paid 99 cents for it, which is absolutely amazing. Have no clue what this game is. On the back it says it's a revolutionary new platform adventure, and I've never played it because I don't have a Vita at the moment, so I can't really say what this game is about, and I don't want to give any false information on what this game is, so I guess we're just gonna have to look it up on YouTube to see what it is. So next up, I found this greatest hit Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PSP. I'm so happy I found this version. I love Battlefront 2. It's my favorite all-time Star Wars Battlefront games. Even more so than the new one that just came out a couple years ago, and Battlefront 1, the first one. That's the first one I played, obviously, when it first came out. Thought it was very cool, very innovative, that you were just a lone soldier in the mix in the whole wars and shit, and it was awesome. But when Battlefront 2 came out, they just crisped everything up. It was awesome. The movements, everything, the maps, the wars, that was all better on Battlefront 2. I had just much more fun playing this game for the original Xbox. And I never played it for the PlayStation 2. It also came out for the PlayStation 2. And I don't know how it plays for the PSP because at the moment my PSP, for whatever reason, doesn't hold a charge. So that's probably one thing I'm going to be looking for when I go to Retro Palooza is a good working PSP, and hopefully one of the lighter ones, because I have the older versions where it's really heavy and that shit hurts my wrists. So I'll probably be looking for one of the newer lighter ones at Retro Palooza so I can start playing this one. So this is a double for me. I didn't know at the time when I picked it up. It just happened to be one of the games that wasn't stolen, because if you noticed in the video, there was a bunch of games that I went through, a bunch of other PSP games. All of them were stolen. So when I came up on this one and it felt heavy, I'm like, oh, you can't really beat that for a couple bucks. and it's in great condition. Turns out this one's in better condition than the one I actually own. So this one, I'm sorry, I even forgot to mention what it was. It's Wallace and Gromit in the Project Zoo.
Anything planned for today, Gromit? Oh, is it his birthday already? Oh, champion! That means a trip to the zoo.
And I never played this one. I don't know what it's about. I just know that I love the Gromit and the Wallace and Gromit series. It's a British TV show or a TV series over in the UK, and they're really, really funny. I watched the one where the Were-Rabbit, I believe, it was an animated movie from these two, and that's why I picked up the game, thinking that it might kind of translate into the British TV show. So it's basically like playing one of the animated movies. I love that type of stuff, man. I love actually playing an episode. If a game's like an episode and I play it out, I absolutely love those type of games, which is why I'm probably going to be selling this one at Retro. So if you see this one at Retro, just mention that it was from the show and I'll give you a nice little hookup, because I already have this copy. So right after finding that game, I went ahead and went down the shelves, and I actually saw a bunch of board games that were sitting on the shelves that I was really happy to see, because there were some of the board games I used to get for Christmas, but I really don't take a chance on the board games because there's always pieces missing, you know? But along the bottom of the shelves, as I was going through all the shelves, I found this game, Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30.
Baker! You okay, Baker?
This reminds me every time of Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski. He always says, Hill 364!
As you took so many bright, flowering young men at Quezon, at Londoc, at Hill 364.
I always reminds me. I love that character. But this one was unique. Nothing special about this game. The only thing special about this game is that it was sealed. It was sitting there, just sitting on the shelf. It has its plastic. It still has the seal on top. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy cow, sealed games on the shelf for PlayStation 2, and I don't have it. And what I thought was weird was at the very bottom it says it's online broadband only. So it means this was an online game. This was a PlayStation 2 game that was played online, which was pretty cool. You don't really hear about games online other than like Final Fantasy XI. Now this game is based on a true story, according to what it says in the back. It says, based on a true story, the night before D-Day, 1944, the paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division are dropped into Normandy and scattered behind enemy lines. I know that story. I watch it all the time. And in fact, there was a couple of movies already made out on that. As Sergeant Matt Baker, lead your squad through 8 harrowing days that will define history and unite you forever as brothers in arms. Pretty sweet. Not going to know until I find a loose copy, because as you know, I don't ever open sealed copied games. So this one I can't take credit for. My best friend Will wound up finding this one. As I was looking to the shelf on the right where all the games were, he was looking to the shelf on the left where all the books were, and he came across this really cool Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic strategy guide for the Xbox. And I only wound up paying $1 for it, which was really cool because I have the game. I started it a couple years ago. It was just, it's not for everyone. You could just tell that this game is really based more on PC controls rather than like a console's controller. There's just too much shit to remember, too many buttons to push. I played about an hour of it, and it was so hard to get into, which is why I'm so freaking happy that I wound up finding this, or Will found this for me. And I do have the game. See, I do have the game. I started playing it. It gave 10 out of 10 from GMR magazine. Gamer, I don't know what kind of magazine that is. A Game Now magazine is what it's called. And they gave this shit a 10 out of 10. And I do really want to get into this game. I just got to learn how to play it a little bit better. And that, my friends, is why I picked up this strategy guide. So this next set of games here, I was with Greg Honeycutt. He came and visited me here at my house, and he actually stayed for a couple days. And I live close enough to our awesome friend Paul, who happens to own D-pads in New Braunfels, Texas. So we just decided to go up to his store one day, and I went shopping. I went a little bit crazy. I bought a couple games off of him, and Paul gave me a really slamming deal. If you don't know D-pads, look them up. They're in New Braunfels, Texas. Really, really cool guys that own the place. They got an awesome arcade room in the back that you can play. It's super sweet. And these are the games that I wound up getting from their PlayStation 2 shelf. First up was this Clock Tower 3. Now, if you don't know, I wound up finding Clock Tower 1 when I went game chasing with the Game Chasers like 4 years ago in Austin. And I paid a pretty penny for Clock Tower. I fucking remember playing that game for Halloween when it first came out. And I rented it from Blockbuster. And it scared the ever-living shit out of me, man. Scissorhands coming into the bathroom deck. You thought you could hide in the bathroom stalls? Nah, that dude will come in there and slice your ass up. I'm trying to get a Clock Tower 2, but as you guys may know, that one is really, really expensive. So the Clock Tower 3 was the next best thing that was in my price range. And this one's another survival horror. And Halloween is only 30 days away from me, so I'm going to be playing these survivor horror games all the way up until Halloween. I don't know much about this one. In the back it says, behind every shadow lie your darkest fears. Alyssa Hamilton, an ordinary girl, dreams who is about to discover a side of herself that she never knew she possessed. Only she has the power to destroy evil that threatens to plunge the world into darkness. Her destiny is to confront the brutal crusade of the evil servants, foul spirits who thrive on the trapped life force of their murdered victims' souls. To save herself and these tortured innocents, Alyssa must unlock the mystery surrounding the death of each soul. However, the legions of Dark World won't succumb easily. Alyssa must summon the sacred weapons necessary to banish these demonic creatures to the nightmare realms that spawned them before the Clock Tower strikes midnight. That sounds nothing like Clock Tower 1 for sure, but we're going to give this one a gander. So next up we have one called Fatal Frame, and they don't have no shame in saying right on the cover, based on a true story. Come on, man. Come on, y'all bullshitting me now. But I did wind up picking this one up because I picked up Fatal Frame 2 and Fatal Frame 3 at SGC like 2 years ago. I got a slamming deal on them. And Fatal Frame 1 is the one that I was actually missing from the collection. I was super happy to make all three a part of my collection. I've got Fatal Frame 1, Fatal Frame 2, Fatal Frame 3 all lined up next to each other. Never played it. Just know that it's a survival horror game once again. And it is basically using your camera as your weapon. You do not play as a warrior in this one. You're basically just going around as a girl, taking pictures of ghosts, and I guess that's what messes up the ghosts, is taking pictures of them or some shit. Or you can, and through your camera, you can actually see, I guess the weaknesses of the ghost or some shit. I don't know. I haven't got into it, but it does look something worth playing. It says the scariest game ever by James Malachi from EGM magazine. So you gotta believe it. He said it. So next up, I couldn't leave this one on the shelf. It was for a damn good price. It's Indigo Prophecies. Now, the only reason I picked up this game was because Will wouldn't shut up talking about this game. He played it for the PlayStation 2, and he told me all about it. When he finished the game, he's like, dude, you gotta play this game. Now, I'm talking years ago. This is back 7, maybe 8 years ago when Will played this game. And I still remembered that. So when I saw it on the shelf, I'm like, oh, this is the game. I had nothing but good shit to say about it. I played for about an hour, and it starts off super crazy, man. Like, you're in this bathroom, and, like, you go kind of, like, nuts, I guess. And then you kill this old guy right off the bat, and then you're like, holy shit, what did you do? Like, you snap out of it or some shit, and then you realize you just killed this dude, so now you gotta hide the body, and you hide the body, you clean up the mess after you. And what's cool about this game is that you play a bunch of different perspectives. Like, you're the murderer, and then you play the police inspecting your, investigating the murderer that you just caused. And everything has a cause and effect. Every decision you make. I love those type of games. I love games that play out like movies. As a matter of fact, when you start off the game, it says new movie. It doesn't say new game. It just says new movie, which I thought was really cool because it's like playing a movie. And I love that kind of shit because I recently came into a game called A Wolf Among Us, which plays almost the same way. It's a game made by Telltale Games, who made the other games from like Walking Dead. Same style. I love that shit. It's so awesome. There is some quick time events that you do play during this game, but for the most part, you're just going to be making a lot of decisions which play out throughout the rest of this game, which is a really awesome game. You guys got to check it out. I'm going to finish it, but for the most part, I'm only an hour in. Okay, so he gave me a slamming deal also on this game. I've played this game before. It's Resident Evil Code Veronica for the Sega Dreamcast. He gave me a really, really good deal on this game. I played the PlayStation 2 version. And I remember mostly the reason why I picked it up for the Dreamcast was because I remember the graphics being really, really good on it. But when I popped it in, holy shit, guys, the controls are horrendous. Literally, to control her, Claire is, I'd rather pluck out every single eyebrow with a pair of tweezers, one by one. I'd have more fun doing that than controlling Claire Redfield in this game. The controls are atrocious. I'm telling you, man, you gotta really love this game to see it all the way through played on the Dreamcast. For those of you who have played it, you already know what I'm talking about. I don't really need to go into story since this is a really old game. You should know what this game's all about. And the only reason I got it was for the graphics, not for the controls. And lastly, everyone, thank God, right? I have here a Fallout 3 Collector's Edition lunchbox that was sealed when I first got it, but we weren't sure if it was resealed or if it was manufacturer sealed because it was kind of iffy. The plastic was kind of iffy. So we wound up opening it up anyway, and there's a hold for Richard there for me because I had Paul actually hold it for me because I had to come back for it. And when I did come back for it, we wound up opening it up and just to see if it was a reseal because we weren't sure if it was or if it wasn't. So it wasn't because everything inside is sealed. The game is sealed, so we wound up opening up the collector's edition just to make sure that it was all in there legit. So for that, I didn't mind. And he let me open it, so I really didn't mind. And he gave me a really good deal on it. By far, Fallout 3 is my all-time favorite game. It's the one that introduced me into Bethesda-style games. I was always intimidated on playing games like Skyrim because I knew nothing of Bethesda's style of RPG type games. And Fallout 3, playing Fallout 3, just giving it a chance, started playing it. Man, I swear to God, it is the absolute best game you could possibly play from Bethesda, bar none. Now that's my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, well, you know what to do with yourself. So here we have the holotapes, some type of holotapes. I'm pretty sure there's something in. Oh, it's a disc. There's some type of disc in there. I'm not going to take that out. There is a art style book. And then lastly here we have the Vault-Tec bobblehead. That's awesome. The 101. I look for these damn things everywhere when I played this game. It was unreal. It was so much fun. I had the best time playing this game. And I'm going to start twitching this game once I get my Kinect for my Xbox One, so you're gonna see me playing this game. I have it for the 360, so I can play it on my Xbox One. I'm gonna Twitch it. I'm gonna love it, and I hope you guys join in on that. It's gonna be so much fun. But for as far as that goes, guys, that's all the games I picked up in the last couple of weeks. Sorry I haven't gone on and done one sooner, but I've been playing some of these games, and as you know, going out and finding them and actually playing them takes some time. So if you liked what you saw here, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, I'll see you at Retro Palooza in a couple days. This is Okchief. Peace out, y'all.